my favorite era costume was the shiny Obsidian.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
when that came up on screen, that was very fun.
I think if I didn't point it out though, nobody would have realized. I don't think anyone would have connected the dots. But when I saw it originally, I was like, "That is shiny Obsidian."
yeah, I don't think I
You
would
just
have
look like
either, but it's such a good one.
yeah,
Hey,
you just like
hey,
some.
what are you guys doing here? We're about to start a podcast.
Podcast.
Oh, hi Amanda.
Hi,
Oh,
guys.
what? Hey.
Yeah, I was gonna just put in our guests. Is if you guys want, you can come along. I guess.
Yeah, I'm keen. Let's do it.
All right. Well, for this episode of the Tap Tap Cast, we're bringing in a very special guest. You guys may not have heard of him before, but he is the 2024 Utrecht Special Event champion. We have Inadequance.
Woo!
Who?
Of course, you would say that.
No. I'm just joking, of course. Martijn, welcome in.
Yes, thank you. So many interviewees today. Usually it's only me and Amanda. Now we have the whole Utrecht cast. Good to see you.
That is right. It is good to be here. Eric and I reunited.
Yeah, I hope people enjoyed what we were cooking up this weekend, and it doesn't end there. We are here on the Tap Tap Cast podcast. So glad to join you guys.
Yeah, that's right. We are the new hosts of Tap Tap.
Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Well, I don't know. After Martijn's really, really good performance, maybe he doesn't want to be behind the microphone anymore. Maybe he just always wants to be in front of the screen. I don't know.
No, I will. I am a competitor at heart, but I enjoy casting more when I do it. It's just less nerves on it. Although I must say, I do like to play when I win.
I mean, even when you're playing, you're entertaining. Honestly, the way you work that crowd in Utrecht was just incredible.
I think it's just something that I felt a little bit. Like you do have the white noise on the headset, but when the crowd gets really loud, you do hear it a little bit through it. And at times when I notice, wow, they're actually really hype. Like especially when I let my Talonflame into the alone sessions,
yeah.
I just hear a roar. And I'm like, yes, yes. Yeah, that really pumps it. That was cool.
That must feel so nice. Like, I don't think I've ever seen someone so supported before on stage. And other than, I guess, the LNDS Ragef, when he's got all of the Brazilians, it was almost like that for the first time in Europe. It was so nice.
Yeah, the Latam is definitely very enthusiastic. And I believe it was at the LAIC, right, that we saw that. And at EYC, there will also be a bigger crowd, so maybe we'll also see some more of that.
Only for Europeans winning, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Otherwise, it'll be like me. It's the crowd is literally silent. They're like, "What just happened? What just happened?"
This time there'll be at least some more Americans. Like there's at least 10 that will be
At
cheering
least 10
for
people,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
10 people cheering.
It's funny.
And everyone else going home.
I heard Farid and Eric talking on the way, and Eric's like, yeah. I mean, you wouldn't know what this feels like, but I know. And then Farid was like, no, you wouldn't know what this feels like because people are actually cheering for him to win.
Yeah, that was good.
Eric, do you reckon if you're winning EUIC that your fellow Americans would be cheering for you?
If they weren't, I would be a little concerned, considering a lot of the Americans coming are my faction's team members.
Let's back it up a little bit to Utrecht first because I'm going to put a vlog out about it pretty soon as well. But we did this new thing. Eric, I'm going to have you explain what the whole idea behind the Caster Fantasy Draft is first, and then we'll kind of go into detail about who we picked and who we left out and why. But yeah, go ahead, Eric.
As many would say, Pokemon Go is a competitive esport, and because of that, we have to engage the fans. And the best way to do that is to start somewhat of a caster fantasy prediction, giving each caster the opportunity to snake draft a couple of players that they want to represent them in the race for day 2 or even winning the regional at the end of the day. And it allows us to kind of follow a couple of players throughout the tournament. Also encourages, I guess, viewers to select their own couple of players that they would like to follow, like say in the Twitch chat or just say on Twitter. kind of their similar ideas, and it was really fun. I think for the first time to follow along. I think when Martijn finally sees the video, he's gonna have a bit of a laugh.
The
Yeah, that's
video?
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when you watch it all back, yeah.
I watched
Amanda's
some of
got
the
some
vault back, but I
inspiration
haven't
for you.
seen like a video of it.
No. We recorded it on my little camera for the vlog that I'm gonna put out, and so we put down the whole thing from the beginning, and it was just like set up perfectly because I mean I don't remember whose idea it was. I promise it wasn't mine, but they were like, okay, nobody can pick Martijn though. Like that's just
It was
just the way it
Thomas.
has
It was Thomas.
No. It was definitely Farid. It was 100% Farid.
Hey, I wasn't gonna throw anyone under the
Or maybe
bus.
Eric. Probably the combination. These two are devious together. It's incredible.
The thing is, I think we mentioned it. Like, it actually worked out perfectly.
Yes.
It gave us such a good story. It gave you like almost like that redemption arc that your hero story coming through. It worked brilliant.
Or his
armor, yeah.
villain arc.
It's all scripted either way.
But I thought Eric's fantasy suggestion was really good because we've usually had like spotlight players or players to watch, but generally for those players we've opted for people who haven't yet qualified for Worlds, and so actually we got very lucky that every single player this time that was a player to watch did go and get the points that they needed. I think it was yourself, Dinoski, and Snowman, but it was also quite nice to give an opportunity to those players that we thought could actually go the whole way. And yeah, it was. I think we can carry on doing that in future events.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
only like future events. I hope that the other games like VG or TCG like kind of adopt the style of this. I think it would be fun just to see it across the board.
And you want to take all the credit for it.
Yeah, of course.
So, Martijn, walk us through your team comp idea because there was like the semi update during this event. Obviously, the World of Wonder started, but because of the way that it was set up, we couldn't use the Pokemon who learned these new movesets until Tuesday, which was after the tournament. But you still had some interesting picks, and you were one of two people in the whole tournament to bring a Giratina.
So first off, Giratina is my favorite legendary Pokemon,
Ever?
and yeah, absolutely. And this was like the perfect opportunity for it because I did read like from the meta that will be coming that Lickitung and Dark types will be even better. And what Giratina sucks against, it's against those Lickies and Dark types. So I felt like this was the only opportunity to bring it, despite Lickitung still being top usage in top 12. I mean, that was kind of to be predicted. That was not where I started from, though. I started building my team by refusing to run Wishcash Mantine. I did not like that. It's very meta. I try to work a little bit around meta. I'm not saying like everything is spice, but I do tend to go like two off meta picks. I instead opted to go for my favorite core, Talonflame Cresselia. It has been very, very decent. And I got a new Cresselia from my good friend Captain Charizard. It has all the bulk points. It does lack a little bit of HP, but I just needed the bulk points against someone like Stone Collection, who always brings that sucker Dragonair, and that's why I was very happy with that. Giratina wasn't really on my mind at first. I must say that Cresselia Talonflame was where it all started. Giratina, I combined this with Vigoroth. This seemed like a pretty solid core for me, and then I didn't really figure out what to use with it. I refused to use water types, and the reason why is because I want to make a statement against only buffing water types almost for the next season. I would have loved to see fire just being as viable as it would be now, and I don't feel like it will be the same way with Mantine for Alligator, dark types so being so much better. So that's why I didn't go with water types. I went with Wigglytuff. I did not lose a single tournament where I used Wigglytuff, though can confirm this. And
Yes,
I went
unfortunately, I
for
can't.
Registeel for even more RPS. It's just such a big party pooper because it blocks Pokemon like Skarmory, Lickitung. Arceus earlier said 2 weeks ago on our podcast, sometimes you just have to shove the Reggie down. And yeah, that's why I really liked to bring Registeel and Wigglytuff there as well. I didn't really feel like that it was going to be RPS all the way, even though some of those Pokemon really have polarizing matchups. Just because, you have 6 different Pokemon. What are the odds they counter every single one of them? So that's where my team came from. And with the composition, I realized, okay, I'm countering Licky Tongue about 3 times. I'm countering Annihilate about 4 times. I feel like Giratina and Vigoroth are as safe as they can be.
Yeah, I really like your comp, especially because that Giratina almost forced some players to run Licky Tongue, and you can punish that so hard with the Vigoroth, the Registeel, and the Wigglytuff. So all the players that are relying so much on the Licky Tongue, which has been honestly the play in this meta, just got so punished by your team, which was awesome to see.
I'm just curious, did you get ominous wind boosts at all through the tournament?
I have barely used Ominous Wind, actually. I believe that I used it twice. Once to bait. No, I used it 3 times. That
Wow.
was in my first matchup, I believe, against Normal Hang, where I led my Guillotine into Golbat. I knew that I can get to 2 Ominous Winds when he goes for Poison Fang plus Shadow Ball. And that way I would just soft lose it. Actually, I misplayed that because I do get to another Ominous Wind on 1 HP. Either way. And against the Alolan Sandslash against Pablondinas in the Grand Finals, when I predicted his Alolan Sandslash to snipe my Giratina. That's the only 3 times I use Ominous Wind. I always use Shadow Ball only.
I think you used it once against Pablondinas' Charger Bug. You'd already basically
Oh,
won
you're
the
right.
game.
Yeah, you're right. 4 times.
And you did it purely, I assume, to try and get a boost, just because it would have been good content.
No, I just wanted to get the Charge Bug out of the way ASAP. Like, throw Ominous Wind, no more charge attacks, so he can't stall the clock in any way. That's why I went for the Ominous Wind there.
So do you think Dragon Pulse is ever to play?
I was gonna ask.
Absolutely not. If you run Dragon Pulse, you will get into a fight with me. This is wildly unviable for Giratina, which is not as bulky as everyone says. It is just about as bulky as Sableye. If you played Sableye and you played against like a Talonflame, you know that this is not bulky. It's really not. 2 Mob Bombs put you deep into the red from a Wish Cache on Giratina. So you want as the charge attacks to be cheap as possible, and those are Ominous Wind, Shadow Ball. There are no other options.
All right, loud and clear.
It's interesting. As part of the buffs that we've seen to Empoleon and Gallade, I've seen some people talking about how we might have what was previously an Ultra League meta in the Great League. But Giratina Registeel, obviously it's altered in the Ultra League, but Giratina Registeel is an Ultra League core, and you've used it pretty well in the Great League now.
Yes, Giratina Registeel, and you're forgetting one. Cresselia.
Yeah.
I mean, Talonflame as well.
And Talonflame! I used 4 Ultra League Pokemon. I believe I had another Ultra League Pokemon at first. Do you remember which one though? I ran like
right.
Mandibuzz. Yeah, it was Mandibuzz. That was one of my options as well. Yeah, it is a phenomenal core. But obviously because the bulk that Giratina Origin doesn't have. I mean, even in Ultra League, it's Giratina Altered that has the bulk, not Origin really. The core is good, but the core that I really worked with was Giratina and Vigoroth.
While we're on the subject of the Giratina, and Martin, you know how much I love controversy. I'm always bringing it up for other people, but now you get to be on this side of it. What do you think about the accessibility issues with Giratina? Is it fair that you brought it to this tournament? And I mean, maybe no one else had it, and that's why you won.
Is it fair that I brought it? Absolutely. It was available. It was not banned. I brought a Pokemon that was allowed. Is it fair that it's so inaccessible? Absolutely not. That is definitely a thing because anyone who started, 2 weeks after the Sinnoh Tour event or something, who knows how long we may have to wait for this. On top of that, if we get another Giratina Origin, it will likely be at level 15 again. So you still have to trade it. This is likely a Pokemon like you can run Cresselia with bad IVs. You cannot run Giratina with bad IV. Well, you can run like a 0-0-0, but you cannot run like a 15-10-12, right? You need a specific IV floor on Giratina that you can only get by trading. And that's what I really dislike about that.
Who did you trade it with? Who do we have to thank for your win here in Utrecht?
With Tristiano.
Okay.
Yeah. Tristiano.
I think I'm huge for accessibility. I really want everyone to be able to get into the game. my personal stance is that I don't think it should have been banned for this tournament because there was such recent access to it. But I do think that everyone needs to look at how you've used it, and whoever it is behind the scenes has to think, okay, Giratina Origin has play. It might not be top meta or whatever the conversation is, but it has play, and so we need to ensure that periodically we bring it back. But I suppose you could make a similar argument Amanda and I have discussed earlier about Shadow for Alligator. That's not been seen in years, so should that be banned for Vancouver?
It's
No.
such a tough decision.
It's a slippery
Yeah.
slope, honestly.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think, and again, this might seem a little bit, it just sounds silly because I just want a tournament with it, but I think it's a bad Pokemon. It's a straight up bad
Of
Pokemon.
course.
Like if it's on Lickitung,
It's all
it's just
driver.
over,
It's walled.
right?
Okay, what about the perspective of, with the rise of Gallade, with the rise of Empoleon and for Alligator, Charjabug and Lantern have play, and Giratina is extremely strong into those.
But with the rise of Lickitung, even more perhaps, Mandibus, Umbreon, Sableye, I don't know, man. I think still dragons are very solid because I hear no one talking about Azumarill. So unless people get on the Wigglytuff train and there are no other fairy types, what's gonna stop Giratina besides the normal and the dark types? Right?
I know you mentioned about the trading. I don't mind that you need to trade to get one. It is a legendary Pokemon. There should be an element of work for it in the same way that you grind XLs for Lickitung and Medicham. It's a very different type of grind, and maybe going out and trying to make friends and trying to find those trades is a grind that is fine, but it's the fact that players only have one to give away that's maybe the issue. And so we do need, and my suggestion has been, I've spoken about this with some of you before, I would really like to see level 15 legendaries as part of the Go Battle League pass, where complete 50 battles or 100 battles, and you get an option maybe of a pool of legendaries at level 15. I think that would be a really nice way to improve accessibility of those.
Yeah, maybe the season of Inadequance, right? Though.
Oh yes, the season of Inadequance.
I have a green jacket.
Yeah, green jacket, hoodoo skirt, the world's backpack, the arms cross pose, Giratina Origin, every set guaranteed from the research reward or from the Go Battle League encounter. I think it'd be great.
Well, then no one can complain about the accessibility.
Exactly. Also, let's just drop the IV floor. Why are we getting 10, 10, 10 rewards from GBL? Just
Agreed.
get 0 attack every single time. We'll be happy.
That'd be great.
I mean, I can play devil's advocate here because if you're trying to encourage people who are not playing the Go Battle League, not invest in PvP to play it, you need to give them the incentive to hunt for hundos that are a little bit more rare outside of the Go Battle League.
True. But on the other hand, I do think that getting into Go Battle League is such a steep hill to climb. To be honest, getting into it, getting the good Pokemon. So I feel like if you start playing it, it would be nice to at least get some better Pokemon from it, right?
Another thought that suggestion would be have some kind of no IV floor for shadows in research. We had that shadow research during the Sinnoh tour. I was so excited because I finally managed to get Shadow Piplup that I've been hunting for ages, but then it's like 10, 10, 10, and I'm like, well, I can't do anything with this. So a no IV floor shadow research I think would be really cool.
That would be cool. Now, though, you talked about the hula skirt, and I'm just going to bring that up quickly because Fareed made a joke about it when we were kind of in the casters lounge about how Martine was going to wear a hula skirt to Hawaii. And then I said, oh, maybe you guys should make a bet of it. So I have to ask, because you are all qualified for Worlds. Like, are you all leaderboard pushing? Like, could it be like the lowest of the four of you on the leaderboard is going to wear the hula skirt first day of Worlds?
I think the only fair way to do it is whoever places lowest in EUIC should wear a hula skirt.
At Worlds or the second day or sometime. Where are they going to wear it?
I don't know, Martine. You tell me.
But why isn't Amanda involved in this bet?
Yeah.
Like she can't just get away with this.
Oh, well, I mean,
She'll wear one for free.
and the coconut bra.
Why don't we just all wear a hulu skirt?
Oh yeah, that's even better. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. You start.
Okay. Sure. Hey, I'm not afraid. I'll do it. Sure. Hey,
Oh,
if I
please,
make my
if-
travel award, I will wear a Hulu skirt in Hawaii.
Okay, we heard
Mhm.
this. If Phil
Okay.
makes the travel award, that
Yeah.
wasn't even the
No,
bet. That's like a
No.
volunteer.
No, I'll just do it. I'll just do it. That'd be
Jeff
epic.
Hat and hula skirt? Who says no?
How about this? I'll buy them all for you guys if you all will wear
Oh.
them at Worlds.
Look, if we're all doing it, then I'm okay with it. Are we all doing it?
The only thing is, I obviously I was joking about it when we were on stream. I actually would need to check whether or not it's
Oh, that's a good
disrespectful.
point.
Like,
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not think of-
I'm not about
I
cultural
didn't even think about
appropriation.
that.
I don't want to be culturally
Yeah.
appropriating anyone. So we can make a joke.
No.
we have a
but
smart
let's be-
person.
Yeah, thank God we have a lawyer with us here.
But I mean, if it's appropriate, I mean, honestly, we should all do it. I'm just excited to see Eric wear one, maybe with the chef's head too. Like, imagine how that'd be drippy, dude. Chef's head, Hulu skirt. Imagine Eric.
Maybe a bathrobe as well. That could go hard.
Yes. Bathrobe, Hulu skirt, chef's head. You're cooking, dude.
Oh, and the Legends United jersey. I think
Yes.
these four things go together.
Yeah.
Do you mean mega hype legend team bros?
Mega hype, super awesome, bros. Yeah, you're exactly right.
I like the name Bros. Yeah, Bros. That sounds good.
Rose is good.
Yeah.
Okay, we're cooking
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, but about travel awards, I was not pushing for it,
Now
but
you
now that
are.
I won, yes, I feel like I'm in the race again. I'm top 4 now, I think, with the points. Well, Stan might surpass me once. I don't know how many points he got now, but I'll just sweep him at locals again, so we'll be fine.
This guy's
How many
playing.
how many locals do you have left though, Martine? Aren't you like almost capped?
I can get, yeah, I'm almost capped on cups, I believe. I can get 35 from cups and 60 from challenges. Yeah.
That's actually a lot, though, to be honest.
Still 100.
Yeah, it's still a lot.
It's not bad. Not bad.
But
Just
you have
get a
to take
good
the challenge
placement.
seriously.
Yeah, that has been difficult so far, so maybe I should not use Galvantula with Energy Ball.
While being 5x weak to Gligar.
You saw Gligar was no problem, man. In Utrecht, it was no
Where
problem.
were all the Gligar?
They got knocked out. They got
Seriously?
knocked out. It sucked.
What happened?
There was 50% A slash in the top 8, to be fair.
True.
50?
Yeah,
Like,
and Mantine, if you look at the
Yeah, that was
Mantine day 1 usage compared to Mantine day 2
Like
This
usage.
is a
that's
classic
playable.
Eric moment. It was not 50% A slash. It was 56% Mantine.
yeah.
It was 50% A slash in the top 8, 100%.
The top 8, not top 16.
Oh,
not
yeah.
Oh,
Eight.
top 8.
Yeah, that
think-
Mantine
Yeah.
A/slash Cora, I guess, just destroyed all the Gligar.
Yeah.
Amanda, I think it might have been you that told me this story that at some of the Mantine that were registered in this event were because the players didn't realize when the cutoff was
Yeah,
to take
I
them
was
out.
talking with 23 EJB, and well,
didn't wake
and he
up.
was, yeah, well, that was it. He was at 7:45 in the morning. He was talking apparently with like Arceus Aurelius, and he was like, "Oh, what should my sixth Pokemon be? Because Water Pulse update wasn't good enough, I don't think, so I don't want to run the Mantine." And Marcus was like, "Oh, you maybe should have thought about that like 10 minutes ago because it's
Oh my
pretty much set
goodness.
for this tournament." So 23 JP was like, imagine what I could actually do if I picked my team, my actual team. Still coming in fourth.
Did we ever see EJ run the Mantine? I actually don't recall it.
Not
He
against me.
did. But he
He
never
did?
threw the water pulse. Not
Okay.
once.
Interesting.
It's like
Oh,
having a single
did he?
moved.
He told me backstage that Mantine was trash. Like, he really didn't
No,
like it.
He said he's never bringing Lickitung or Mantine to an event again.
Wow. Lickitung is wild, though.
It's just the core break Wishcash, Gligar, and what's the other homie? Annihilate. Which is like a big share of the meta, though.
Yeah.
So I think it has like its role there, but everything that's neutral, you just lose.
I think Jellicent
So
does the
his-
same thing, but better. No?
Hello, Licky Tongue? What?
I think Jellicent's pretty solid.
Stop talking.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
It's the quote of the tournament.
Yeah, I'm back and I'm still silenced.
So here's an interesting thought, and I'll give credit to EJ and to Arceus Aurelius. They were telling me this at dinner. They were thinking that going into this next format, Lickitung is not anywhere near as strong as it used to be. It's actually setting players up for farm downs and sweeps. And Martin, you had a few of those. Anyone have any thoughts on Lickitung?
For the next meta, or for this tournament we had?
Going forwards generally, it seems that things like alignment aren't important, and Lickitung has often been used to,
Hmm.
you can swap it in and it helps you maintain alignment when you
Yeah.
need it. But actually now you happy to soft lose and farm it down.
Depends on how much you need alignment, I guess, right? And there are Pokemon like Charjabug, I feel like, that are very flexible. They're not overpowered. They're not like hard walls to even like a Feraligatr or something. And that's what I like so much about it. The same as with Lickitung. And like what you say, if it's just to soak damage, it's great. And if you can then farm it down with like a Cresselia, for example, and then you throw Future Sight into Chargebug, great, right? I think Lickitung is a fantastic Pokemon, and I know some people think different, that we need like Body Slam nerf or that kind of nonsense. But you want to bring a safe Pokemon that you can rely on. No one goes to a tournament and wants to look at their sheet and the opponent's sheet and then like, so this counters that, this counters that, this counters that. This is total rock paper scissors. No one wants that. Leaky Tongue is the one Pokemon, except if you face mine. It usually is counted by only one Pokemon, or maybe not even. If Annihilape is the worst,
Yeah. So only Martine wants that, is what we're saying.
I love Licky Tongue. Not playing it, I hate playing it. I think it's dull. But if I'm looking to just fill in a gap where I don't know what to use,
Mhm.
Licky Tongue has high odds to be in my team because it's just such a safe Pokemon that is so versatile and it's just barely countered. Like even in some of his worst matchups, like an Umbreon or a Mandibuzz, it's not like you lose with the Mandibuzz having 60% HP left.
I agree. I think there have been times where I felt Lickitung is maybe a bit boring, but I do think it is healthy. And I would say actually, I think the meta that we've got at the moment, and I'm not sure yet about for Alligator, but the meta we've just had, I think it's actually very healthy. There's been so many options for so many varieties of teams, and that was quite nice to see.
Besides Scald, I liked it a lot. Besides
Yep.
Scald, yeah.
Yep. No, 100% agree with that. And I think in the next meta, because we get Feraligatr, I think a lot of people will try to run Feraligatr. Annihilape's usage may go a little down, which would help Vigoroth out a lot, which is a great Lickitung answer. So perhaps that will keep Lickitung a little more in check as well.
And Vigoroth is another one of those, right? Just so safe.
Yep.
It's not an Annihilape, then it's probably good. Well, not against Golbat, but who runs that?
Let's talk a little bit about that as well. Normalheim just kind of came out of nowhere again in this tournament. He says he only plays the ones that are in the Netherlands. He top cut last year as well. Um, yeah, he had a pretty good team and a really good run. Were you scared to face him? Because the first time when he knocked you down to the losers bracket, were you expecting to win it and then kind of like scared that you lost?
Yeah, it was. If I felt devastated because it was the one matchup that I prepared so much for. I
Mm-hmm.
prepared for the Golbat lead. I played out like 15 different scenarios with any of my Pokemon, with Enoff, with Rice, with Valiant Vish, and I felt very comfortable in that. And my strategy worked in the first game against him. But then I swapped in game two from last second's Giratina lead to Cresselia lead to go with a safe option. It was not safe. It sucked against Golbat, and he destroyed me. I cannot say more than that. I don't think I played bad or anything. Yeah, he just the Golbat was too much to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, after I lost, I was like, yeah, not my tournament again. Mom's disappointed again in me. Hopefully I can get a fourth place medal. So yeah.
But it didn't turn out that way, quite obviously. Let's walk it through that run. You didn't lose a single game in the losers bracket.
Yeah, something I definitely did not see coming. San Rodigo was my first opponent after I lost, and he played against Scafo before, I believe on day one, and Scafo demolished him. Scafo had a very similar team to mine. He was a little bit desperate Friday evening when he was here at my place. He tried many different things. He kept losing to me. I told him, just take my team. You'll be fine. And he did. He just went with Sableye instead of Giratina because his Giratina was like 1467 CP and he likes meta a little bit more. So I kind of had a good idea of what San Rodigo would run. People that want to play safe play the Charger Buck. and especially when he was like, okay, Charjabug is so safe against Scafo, must be safe against Martijn as well. And then there's the Guillotina, so which eats the Charjabug. That was great against San Rodrigo. He had a very meta team, and my team just swallowed the meta teams. Not because mine just hard counted them, it made it very, very difficult for them to make a logical team composition. The Cresselia core breaks Wishcash plus Annihilate. The Giratina core breaks like, it keeps the Charjabug in check and the Annihilate. So, you cannot run those two easily together. If there's like a Talonflame, it keeps that in check. The Vigoroth keeps Lickitung A/ in check and does pretty decent against Man Team because we just discussed that's quite a bad Pokemon. And then I have Talonflame as well for like Annihilate. It's decent against Lickitung once I use a shield. So, and then the biggest party pooper of all for all the players who kept playing ABA, Registeel. Everyone who play like Mantine leads and Lickitung in the back, if they face Registeel, done, right? And I feel like that's why I had such a good team, such a good time against like San Rodrigo's team, Pablo Dina's team. I
Donnie's
think,
team.
yeah, Danny's team as well. It's very similar. Yeah.
So, am I right in saying you practiced with your teammates? You brought a couple of different picks. I think, in my opinion, this tournament mainly shows how Team Pizza and Empress isolate themselves from everyone, so that others can't know anything, and then they play stupid shit and win because no one counters
That's
it.
how we won, man. That's how we won. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's what I'll say about it.
Oh dear. Eric, you were also scrimming. I remember just before day 2, you were helping some players out. Though you mentioned that you don't actually like scrimming against Eric. Why is that?
Oh. Because he
Scaffold
always
said the
plays
same.
the dumbest stuff, dude. He always plays the dumbest stuff. He would just like run like up off Talonflame on my team, and he'll be like, a Boomer lead with, I don't know, maybe Registeel in the back. That seems like a good squad. And then it's like I lead my Talonflame and the game's just over. Well, that was fun. Or I'll play like, or just RPS me, and I'll be like, yeah, this makes no sense. It's like, why am I scrimming then?
But that's
Yeah,
Eric's strategy. He said it in the van ride over to the dinner. He was like, "Yeah, sometimes you just pick 3 random things. Like
Yeah.
if you don't overthink it, then you're gonna at least win one of those games." That's what he was saying that Pablo should have done against you. He said
Yep.
that he should have just stopped trying to think with reason and just pick 3 random Pokemon because
He did.
then
He did. And
he
then
did do that.
then he let A/ into Talon.
I called it on the stream.
Oh.
I 100% called that.
Because he had an Nihilip in the back.
Oh,
Yeah.
risky.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you gotta make those risky calls.
It's
So
true. It's true.
being unpredictable like that, trying something different can work out, but Pablo Dina's case, it just really didn't.
Yeah, I felt bad for. I mean, he had such an insanely good run, like throughout the whole tournament. But after, like, you flip the bracket so quickly, and I'm writing the award ceremony stuff, so I have 23 EJBs and normal Heinz written up, but then I'm like trying to make it vague enough between the two that it's like you can start switching things out. But I feel bad saying it, but by like game 2 of the bracket reset, I'm like, yeah, Martine's got this. Like, he's just, you had so much hype and energy behind you. Like Pablo Dinas, just you could tell he was just getting more deflated after each round that you were just completely dominating.
I think after the CMP swap,
Oh
it was
my
over.
goodness.
Yeah.
Mentally,
He
it was
said
over.
he said nice. He looked at me, smiled, said nice. And I look at him like, man, I've never seen someone so down
Yeah.
in his battles. I
I
felt
think, I
bad
think
for him.
he.
At the start, I was at the beginning of the battles, I was saying like, I locked in pretty quickly. I said I'm ready, ready when you are. And I felt like at some point I'm just messing with him if I do that and putting pressure on him. So I should stop doing that. It kind of got to there. Did I feel bad that I destroyed him? Absolutely not. But it must suck for him that he goes so far in that 06.
I think the mental battle is part of the game, right? And I don't think a lot of people who watch realize that when you're playing for that long, and especially when you have to do a losers bracket run, like it is mentally draining. And if you're not using everything in your arsenal within reason, then you're only putting yourself at a disadvantage. You need to have a little bit of mind games, respectful, but like mind games are super important, especially at that stage of the tournament.
Is that why Eric beat you, Farid? He just like kind of outclassed and outwitted you, got really into your head.
Yeah, I think I probably just got quite complacent. I flipped the bracket, and I think I just started running my teams a little bit too quickly, and he just read them really well. And actually, I've had some feedback from someone who was watching, and they said, yeah, the teams that you were running, I thought you would run those teams, and if I thought you'd run them, Eric probably also called them. So that was just something for me to take away, that even when you're on a winning run, to just still compose yourself, because there's still a long way to go. And I mean, Martine did that perfectly. So there we go.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a flip side to what you said, because Martine came from the lower bracket, and because so many people that made in the top 8 were running the exact same team. Like Martine had plenty of practice against it as well, and Pablo Dinas was also just kind of sitting there because he won so many games that he was just like he didn't have as much practice and momentum behind him in the same sense that I think like Martin was like locked in by that point. He's like, I know exactly what I want to do against this team, and he locked in his teams really quickly as well.
That is true. Eric, you were the first Skarmory that I faced in Liverpool, and obviously that I brought a Venusaur, so that wasn't pretty.
I was one of the only people who ran Skarmory in that regional, just period. But then after that, I think people started to catch on.
Yeah, but I think it was, Amanda, to be fair, I think it was more than just Martine having practice against that
Nope,
team.
I think it's only practice. He doesn't have any skill.
I was gonna say, like, it was he, and I mentioned it, like Martine's presence was so intimidating, and you could see it. You could see it in the interview that it was like you've got so much momentum, and everyone just knows that Martine's in your head, and that just makes it worse. It compounds that issue. Martine casts a great shadow over everyone in the PvP community, just not literally, but
Only over Thomas.
Oh, come on. No,
I am taller after all.
I must agree with Farida. When you're playing someone has been doing so well, has won tournaments before, it is definitely brings a lot of pressure that you have to deal with on top of the pressure that there already is, and it just makes it so much harder to play well.
Yeah, completely agree. I don't want to rub salt in the wound to anyone here, but besides Eric, because he's fine. But how sad are you that it just happened 2 months too late to be calling yourself the first caster out of all of us to win a regional?
I am the first caster to win a regional with normal lines.
But hold on. Didn't
Triple
Eric
V2
make his
ready.
debut this weekend?
No, because he casted in Charlotte.
I'm just joking.
Yeah. Actually, both as well, if you count that.
No one remembers that
one. No. I like the way that Eric phrased it before on the stream. It should not be the Americans that the play should be looking out for. It's the casters now. The casters are taking over.
I hope so.
Oh, and I, Prager.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about EUIC because it will be in the new meta. We kind of talked about the metas. Are you guys already looking at different teams that you're thinking about bringing to this? Are you guys trying to also keep it kind of close to the vest because you know that the Americans are coming? There are going to be a lot of good players playing as well. Like, what is your game plan for EUIC?
I'm just waiting until Martine makes me a team.
Fair, yeah, that's good.
How would I do that? I want to win too, dude.
Oh, okay, dude. Well, you can let me steal your team, right? We'll be in different groups, most likely.
For me, it's like I'm happy to prep with all like the top seeded players, whether that's in Europe, North America. I'm not going to face these people until day 2 or even the top 8 most likely because of how seeding works. So because it sounds bad, but because all the top players are allowed to have these conversations, what is like a sneaky pick going to EUIC, what is something that the meta won't expect, that's actually allowing a lot of these top seeded players to dominate through the brackets.
I will keep
Okay,
everything
so
for myself.
in my opinion, the problem with these tournaments is
Once
Yeah.
again, yeah, we'll just
exactly
copy and
that.
paste that.
Actually, you know what?
Yeah,
Maybe EU Emperors and Team Pizza should band together and do some stupid shit.
yeah.
There's no risk of me playing against Tomahawk in my group, basically, or even like until very late on in the group. Like the risk
This
is
Yeah,
is
that's
so
true.
true.
little to none. If we share the same ideas, he can dominate his side of the tournament, and I can dominate my side, and everyone's happy. We make it to day two. That's mostly where you want to be.
I like that we have set up this quite nice. I think it's a good, like, healthy rivalry between Europe and NA. I think it will be quite fun when it comes
Do you
to it.
think it's a healthy rivalry between Tea and Pizza and EU Emperors?
No, because they have all the
I,
same strats, and that's why no one else can win.
Are you? What did you think of their really clever, new, unique way of like passing this plushie from like teammate to teammate in the finals?
yeah, Martin, you wouldn't have heard it, but when you did that, I went, "Wow, that's original."
Yeah.
But no, I think everyone is super. And actually, Martin, you winning, because obviously you're such a big name in the community, you winning that event, I think, has given so many people real motivation and excitement for EUIC. Everyone's getting really hyped. I don't think I'd even come off the out of the caster lounge, and I checked my phone, and PvP David had messaged me like, "Okay, what are we cooking for EUIC?" And I'm like, "Bro, you can see me on stream right now. Like, give me a chance. We will cook, but not right this minute."
Yeah, I had tremendous support. I watched a lot of the vault back as well. Yeah, it's great, and I hope it will motivate people for the next tournaments.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
pumped. I'm pumped. And honestly, what you said, like at the end, defending EU from NA and invading NA at NYC in the interview was just perfect. I love this rivalry.
Yes, as do I.
Martin, because you've watched these back, did you enjoy mine and Eric's casting? We tried to compliment your beard a couple of times as well.
I hated it. Everything. No, it was great. It was great. I watched like, especially there was one moment I watched like multiple times because it just synced so well with what I did when I was like when I realized, wait, I win the final game, it's over. So I'm hyping up the crowd, and then the final CMP, right? The Talonflame versus the Wish guys, and you go like, and he's a champion. The whole voice cracks. Eric already died before that. His voice already died before that. This was just so good. It was so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have never
It-
come out of a cast with my voice like destroyed. Genuinely, like before, compared to this, I was casting. I must have been casting like a chess or a golf tournament.
it's a very quiet tournament. You're like, oh yeah,
I think it's good, dude, to have the hype in there, right?
yeah, I agree.
Obviously, some good battles help with that. We've had like your finals last year in Bochum. That was probably not as exciting, right? That was RPS
I'm
over and
waiting on
over and
Trev.
over.
I
Like
saw that
like
so many
Reggie
times.
into A9. Yeah,
Yeah, swapping
exactly.
an A9. Yeah,
Right. So I think it also helps, of course.
Yeah, it was nice. Eric obviously had a lot of energy, and then we just ended up building on top of each other. And obviously, you were playing like insane games, so I was like, this could not be like an easier debut. You've given me the best battles to showcase here.
Yeah, I'm glad I even got that far. I don't always do that.
Speaking of incredible battles, that losers final versus Normalheim, those first two battles where you lost the lead hard, like was that a strategy? Like, did you have it all planned out? Honestly, like, how did you plan for that? It was incredible.
My plan was to never lead weak to Golbat and
Okay.
safe switch the Cresselia. The Cresselia was my MVP for this tournament. Like, Cresselia was so good in many of these teams that I could like confidently lead Giratina with Cresselia in the back if they have an A slash in the back. I think that happened in one of these games as well, by the way. In the third game against Normalheim, I
I
believe.
think
I
it
let
was
my Giratina,
the second.
also
Uh,
possible, but
I
I
think
let
the third
Giratina into
game
A
you
slash.
read Stew into a flyer, didn't you? I don't know anymore. Oh, no, Red Stew
No, I
was in the
think
back there. Yeah, you're right. You're
I
probably
think
right.
in one of these games,
No,
what
I
was it
think
again,
yeah.
dude?
You're
I
correct.
let Talon and then Reggie into Wishcash. Then I okay.
Yeah,
Anyway, but because he just didn't really have anything for Cresselia safe switch, I just built more and more on the Talonflame Cresselia core. And
Makes sense.
if he was not confident to bring Lickitung, which I don't think he brought even once, he didn't bring Poliwrath even once, Giratina pops off, man. Giratina is just lovely to run if someone is not countering it and you get it in the right spot.
Tell us about who do you think was your toughest opponent that you had to play in day 2, or maybe in the whole tournament? But I assume obviously it would be day 2.
I hate this question because I ran through all of them. Literally, I think the one I was most afraid of was EJB because I had no Gligar answer. But man, I don't know what
He also
happened.
had no
in those
charm answer, though. Really, I mean, he did beat Scaffo without a real charm
Yeah,
answer,
but he
but
just outbulks. He just
yeah.
outbulks. Like Wigglytuff was there to set up other Pokemon. It was not there to, Scaffo played a two shield charm strategy. I think he would just outbulk me or play like spammy Whiscash. I was not having any of that, so that was not my plan. And obviously, one thing that was really tough for Scaffo is he did not have a Charger Bug answer, a proper one.
Mhm.
Right? You can swap your Talonflame in and farm it down, but you go two shields down if you do that. I had Giratina, and that really helped me in that scenario. And I realized one thing that really, really helped the Giratina or the team in general is he had no Wiggly answer. I had no Gligar answer. If I win the lead, I just make sure I get like a shield advantage or something. You know, I don't really need switch against Gligar as long as I don't have anything weak left to Gligar in the back.
Do you know what I thought? I've just noticed, Martin. Do you remember? Was it EJ? Did he beat Scaffo? Is that who he beat before?
Yeah, yeah.
So after he beat Scaffo, you'd obviously said, "Oh, if EJ wins that, I think he goes on and wins the whole tournament." And then you go and 2-0 him, and I just thought that was really disrespectful, Martin.
No. It was the winner of this battle will be the champion. That's what I said. So it was either him or me.
Yeah.
And I was very. That's when I started feeling very overconfident, like super confident. After I beat EJB, especially with that battle, I believe it was the second battle where I had a future sight and then the grass on the Charger
Oh
Bug.
yeah, beautiful.
Well, I'm curious if Normalheim had won the winners finals and knocked Pablo and Diaz into the lower bracket, do you think he would have still won the regional?
Maybe.
If you had to
Hard say,
flip
of
against
course.
Normalheim twice, I mean, that would be
Look,
tough.
I'll say if I can lose 3 leads and still win the battles, why not?
You'll be okay.
And I wouldn't. It's not because I'm saying I underestimate him or anything. I just felt way more locked in at that point, and I knew way more how to deal with this situation because I just figured out like after game 1 in the second set, and that's kind of what I already should have noticed earlier. He just shields Golbat only. So yeah,
Eric, if you and I in Liverpool had faced before a best of 5, before the grand finals, because I won our first best of 5, would you have still won?
no shot.
I think that would be tough. I think that would be very tough. A lot of things had to go right for me that weekend.
Yeah, you'd have had to go play Lurgan in the losers.
I would have
bracket.
lost to Lurgan if a second time around. There was no getting. There was no like scamming like the AAA Reggie line and doing that stupid stuff again. Like I could steal 2 games from under the rug, but like I would have not been able to recreate that. No chance.
He still talks about it. You get a drink or two in him, all of a sudden he's like, triple weak to counter.
Wait, what did he run?
I think I ran Lickitung, Dugong, and Skarmory in a game. I had no regard for the Registeel at all. I was like, Registeel, I lose. If it's not Registeel, he plays Talonflame, I win.
If it's in the lead, wait. Did you just say you're good against Talonflame with that team? Because you're not. Anyway,
Oh, no. It was all good. It was all good.
yeah. Oh, I trust you because you won that. But like Dugong into Reggie is not the worst, honestly.
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't think Lurgan had like a great Dugong answer either. So honestly, that's not like a totally insensible
Cress,
line.
right? You had no fighter. You had Cress only.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
Come
Proud
on.
of you, Eric.
Thank you. I do my best.
That's
Yeah.
great.
So, we talk about it sometimes already, but since you kind of have the spotlight, Martijn, can you tell everyone about your practice tournaments that you do, and maybe some of just because I mean, Speediest Chief. I mean, you're probably getting hammered with different tweets and direct messages from people like congratulating you on your run. But the Speediest Chief just had a really nice message, basically talking about all the things you do for the community, which is 100% true. But I want to give you a chance to actually talk a little bit about it yourself, and maybe how people, if they're listening to this podcast, want to get connected with trying to learn PvP, where they should go.
Just too much. It's the post that Chief made. Yeah, that.
But it's all true, for real. I mean, you're
I
like a
I
pillar
know.
in this
I know.
community.
I know. I know what I'm doing. I, a part of me doesn't want to hear it because I don't know how to respond to
Because
it.
you're Dutch and you're modest. You're a modest boy.
I'm definitely not modest, but um,
And you shouldn't be. You've accomplished a lot.
right. But yeah, there's a lot that I do. Um, here's what I do. I barely play the game, but I invest so much time in everything around it. I am very much focused on the play Pokemon part of it, and to get more players invested in PvP, or to provide any tools to help them with that all over the world, preferably. Obviously, my biggest reach is in Europe and North America because I speak English and not much more than that, just Dutch, some German. Um, so yeah, I have a lot of projects. I think my weak spot is that I don't always finish them. But yeah, GBL teams, GBL graphics. I think I just asked Tomahawk for a team. Actually, that's a show 6 one, right? Yeah.
Show
So I
six,
have
yeah, that's
GBL
fine.
graphs, right? GBL teams, teams what good players would use in regionals. That will be upcoming. If there's like a cool, unique event like the Giratina Origin, I like making graphs to keep people informed on that. Not just for them, honestly, also for myself to be aware of some things. Because sometimes I'm also like, what are these break and ball points? Let me just check that, right? I can also look videos, but I like to do my own investigation as well. I have the practice tournaments. I used to do them for myself a lot. Now I don't do them as much anymore, simply because I'm very restricted in time. But I try to host them weekly, um, and I want to make graphs out of that as well, so people can, they don't have to play if maybe they're, not very confident to play, if they don't have the time. If I can make like a graph to give them insight on what the meta currently is, what players would use, what could be good teams, anything that could help anyone to feel a little bit more confident for a regional, all that kind of stuff is what I work with as well. I'm trying to involve other content creators with it too. Its accent goes over the show six graphs, gives us input. Rise to Occasion makes YouTube videos about the GBL teams, and other streamers like Jogs, Murphy, and Arrow. They also stream my Open Great League practice tournaments sometimes, even though not lately because he was always molding. But I try to involve many others with it. So
Wait, Thomas, I thought
um,
you're always winning his tournaments.
only,
only
only,
the
only,
prize one.
only the
If there's,
one I can get money with.
if there's money at stake, he will win, but otherwise he doesn't.
I get my monthly stipend from Martijn these days.
It's true. But yeah, those are like some projects I have going on. I try to go live sometimes on Twitch if I can, and make YouTube videos that take a lot of time to make. Um, and then I still have a full-time job, so that's all I have going for me. Yeah.
So where can we find these tournaments, Martijn?
All in my server. And where can you find the link? It can maybe be in the description, but also I post these Open Grey League graphs from my my X profile with a QR code. You scan the QR code, you get an invite to my server.
Oh.
And from there, I will post the link every time 1 hour before the tournament starts. You can sign up there, and we just play the tournaments, 30-minute rounds. All the practice you want.
Nice. But you do need to enjoy this spotlight, Martijn, because especially when we've got EUIC, NAIC, and Worlds coming up, like it can shift very, very quickly. We've seen different players highlighted before in the season, but this moment is yours. I do think you should enjoy it and revel in it.
It's I do enjoy it. I do enjoy watching the stream, but man, yesterday I was so tired and overwhelmed. Just finishing that tournament, then having the dinner reservation. Organizing for 25 people, and then I get home. I got like 200 missed Discord messages, so many Twitter texts, and I I always try as much as I can to respond to everyone, to give everyone the feeling that I am their friend, or that I try to be. Um, but yeah, it's been overwhelming. It will be a couple days of overwhelming, and that's fine.
Amanda, it's the burden of stardom, isn't it?
Don't worry,
I wouldn't.
Martine.
I didn't want to call it that, but I guess. I guess.
We'll start trash talking you again soon. It'll all be okay.
Oh, honey, let's talk about how many tournaments you won.
This is what he said earlier. He's like, now they can stop making fun of me.
About 5 of yours.
Martine, at least you'll always be able to look back. Like, obviously, it's tiring and stressful in the moment, but like now you can just look back and be like, yeah, I won an event and it was glorious.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also puts you in the running now that you've won an event, that you could potentially be one of our second ever 2-time regional winner. Perhaps even you'll be the first EU person to have 2 in one season. We'll have to see.
I will try.
Yeah.
I will try, but I would rather win the NA one.
Yeah, I think that's where the real focus should be for all EU
Yeah.
listeners who are coming. We're taking the fight overseas.
I guess technically we haven't had someone from overseas win a regional, right?
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Bibalicious came in second last year in NA. Yep. But
Oh wait, we have nighttime. Wait, what am I talking
I
about?
was gonna say.
What am I talking about?
He lives
No.
he
He's
lives in the
European now.
Netherlands.
He's European now.
Yeah,
No. He's European.
he's
Doesn't count
European.
anymore.
It's
I'm in the Netherlands right now. You know what that means. I ate a stroopwafel earlier today as well. I mean, I'm
You're
Irish,
Dutch.
won't
Yeah.
be Dutch.
You're done.
yeah,
you're
practically
Dutch.
integrated at this point.
Martine's going to start hosting EU only tournaments where the prize money just helps people go to the NAS.
That's a good idea.
That's not even a crazy idea.
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy, actually.
All right, Martine, we're coming to the end, and I think by this point you might be familiar, but we do have a typical closing question here on Tap Tap Cast, and it's a
Oh, no.
two-parter. And the first part of the question is, who in the PvP community would you call a crip brawler? And this is someone who's like a bit of a scrappy player, maybe not super well known at this point, but you think that they have what it takes to, qualify, potentially win worlds. And then, of course, who is a champion? Someone who's already well known, probably going to take it, and you cannot say yourself.
You know what's the most embarrassing about this? I've been asking this question for months. I have no idea what to say.
You even knew this was coming.
The Martine of today would not have won the tournament. I will start with the crap roller, and I think it's someone who has a name for themselves, but it's not someone you would point to if you would have to think of someone who would win worlds, and that is Jumanis. If she has the right Pokemon that she's familiar with, she's freaking unstoppable. If she has a Pokemon she can rely on. I've seen her play with that Frostless.
Oh man,
it was crazy. That would be my crap roller. I would be afraid to play against her at Worlds, even if she has the Frostless, and I will triple counter it, and I may still lose.
Yeah, she's only a couple points away from qualifying, right? Or is she already qualified by the locals now?
I haven't checked the leaderboard. I think she is close, though.
I have no doubt that she will qualify for Worlds. I also agree.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
No. I think she put like a donating thing up, so I think she is
I think,
qualified.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
Yeah.
donate.
Oh, she has 287 out of 300. So, I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
basically she's there.
Yeah.
For my champion, I would pick Though Tactical if he goes to Worlds.
Ooh.
But because he only goes with Travel Awards, we'll see. I think Theo also needs a day like I did, and I think he could do it. That is my
Ah,
serious answer.
we'll see. I mean, I appreciate your confidence, but man, everyone's so good these days. Everyone's so good.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
And then it actually they seem quite disappointed. No,
Okay, okay.
you just need a good day, man. That's what you need.
Yeah. I think I've kind of figured out where I've been struggling in previous regionals. I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself to do well. Since I was doing so many tournaments this season, I was like, I gotta win at least one. And that, I don't know. I didn't have as much fun playing those tournaments as I used to. So
Hmm.
for EOIC, I'm hoping to just have fun. And I think that will help.
It's most important.
Because I think that's what you do, right? I mean, I see you have so much fun on stream, just kind of taunting your opponent, and I think it helps you play.
I do not have fun at the start of a tournament.
Oh, really?
Absolutely not. I am so nervous to go 0-2 or something.
Oh yeah,
But when I'm a couple battles in, yeah, it's all good.
you get warmed up.
Yeah. Well, that's when you're like, okay, at this point, I cannot be embarrassed anymore.
I'm 2-0.
Yeah.
I go at least
Well,
neutral.
exactly.
Now it's fine. No
Yeah,
walk of shame today.
exactly.
I think it is worth saying that, like, no matter how good you are, no matter how confident these players look, everyone goes into the tournaments with those butterflies in their stomach. Like, we really don't want to lose now. We
Yeah.
really don't want to go out early. And like, I get locals asking me like, "Oh, are there players that go and they just lose immediately every time? Why do they keep going?" It's like everyone is really good at the moment. Everyone can go out at any point, and it is nervous, but it's exciting at the same time.
Yeah.
It
Like I
is.
say, you need a good day.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Martine, for being on this podcast. Hope to see you on it again next week if you're willing to come back as well.
Likely. All of us?
Well, I mean, it is kind of fun, right? This is like feel like a
Yeah, it's
Brady
definitely
Bunch
fun.
thing going on when I'm looking at all these different screens of people. But yes, a
Yeah.
big thank you also to the casters of the Utrecht Special Event. We have Toe Tactical, Nighttime Clasher, and Tomahawk UK joining
Don't
us,
don't
really helping
forget
moderate
about
this.
Lundberger.
That's me.
Yes.
Huge shout out to Amanda.
And we will be back, maybe not everyone, but at least a portion of this crew, every Thursday, every new episode of Tap Tap Cast. We will catch you in the next one, guys. Bye.